Now we are going to discuss a very important indicator which is present in your first demonstration and in your second demonstration. And this is called Indicator 1, or applying knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. So today we're going to discuss how we're going to achieve Indicator 1 in your classroom observation. So again, we look at our PMES tool and we see this is under KRA1, Content Knowledge and Pedagogy. And the objective, as you can see there, is PPST 1.1.2. So here we see how we're going to get the outstanding mark. So by the way, this one is in the context of teacher 1 to 3. And as you can see here, this is colored green. So these are for teachers who are under teacher 1 to 3. So we see here the outstanding mark. In order for you to get outstanding, it's important for you to cross-reference this to another material, which is also found on our PMES toolkit. So here I have already summarized it for you. You have to look at the rubric. So as you can see, if you are teacher 1 to 3, you have to reach this level here, level 6, in order for you to get the outstanding mark. So if you're going to revisit again here, the outstanding is level 6. But if you're going to look at, if you're a master teacher and you're watching this, if you notice, your PMES tool will tell you that you have to reach level 8. No, it could be higher. And as you go higher, being distinguished, you will be applying a higher standard. So that's why if you look at here, if you are a master teacher, you have your highest score in order for you to reach the outstanding mark should be level 7, level 8, and then level 9. As your position goes up, or whether you are in Master Teacher 1, whether it's highly proficient or distinguished, it will rise. So what does that tell us? It tells us that if for the principals, if you are rating teacher 1 to 3, and then you are also rating someone from the highly proficient, it is a different standard. You have to adjust your standard because what is outstanding for teacher 1 to 3 is a little bit lower compared to the standard by which you measure the performance of a master teacher and a teacher which is considered distinguished. So your highest really for teacher 1 to 3 is up to level 6. So this is the standards by which you will be rating teachers. So if you look at here, again, level 5 is very satisfactory. Level 4 is satisfactory, which is 3. Unsatisfactory yung 2. Tapos yung poor is 1. So if the teacher demonstrates moderate content, errors related to lessons, concepts either in presenting the lesson or in responding to learners' questions or comments, then you have to rate the teacher based on this. 1. Okay, so because it says here if it's level 2, then he will get the grade of 1 or poor. For teacher 1 to 3 who are listening, your target really is to hit level 6 or higher. Right? So in order for you to analyze this one, you have to get a copy of this. So if you want to get a copy of these rubrics, this is for free. You can find it in the toolkit, the overall PMES toolkit. We have compiled this in one PowerPoint presentation so that you'll be able to know, ganito pala yung features of practice that I have to perform. So titingnan natin here, what are the features of practice for level 6? And this is the outstanding mark. And you have to ensure na you will hit this one or higher, so that if you are teacher 1 to 3 and then if the observer knows the standards, that's why as principal you have to master the rubrics talaga. So you look at level 6, it says here yung teacher, pinapakita niya yung accurate and in-depth knowledge of all concepts in presenting the lesson and in responding to learners' questions in a manner that is responsive to the learner's developmental needs and promotes learning. As you can see in level 6, it's important for the learners to ask questions. And then, as we encourage them to ask questions, as we look at level 5, in order for us to understand the rubrics and how it works, we have to analyze the rubrics together. So, yung level 5, which is 4 for us in teacher 1 to 3, is that yung teacher, nagpapakita siya ng accurate, in-depth, accurate and in-depth pa rin yung knowledge of most concepts in presenting the lesson and responding to the learner's question in a manner that attempts to be responsive. So, there is already an attempt na maging responsive to the questions. But in level 6, it's really very responsive. In a manner that is responsive talaga. But in level 5, there is only an attempt to be responsive. So yung level 4 naman, yung 3 natin for teacher 1 to 3 is that the teacher demonstrates accurate knowledge of key concepts. Accurate siya in presenting the lesson. As you can see, in responding to the learner's questions or comments, and the lesson content displays coherence. The teacher still attempts to make connections across the curriculum teaching areas if appropriate. So if we are going to analyze, remember, your ability here is to connect it across different teaching areas, across different subjects, across different topics in life. So there is only merely an attempt in your part to reach this level 3. No, it's level 4 here, but it's graded as 3 on your rubrics, on your COT. Now, in 2, the teacher demonstrates minor content error. So, kapag meron ng mga pagkakamali, then we will rate the teacher 2 for indicator 1 in terms of integrating it. Kaya nga, the person who will rate the teacher, if there are multiple observers in this indicator, should be an expert on the subject. Importante kasi ito for that particular subject expert to understand if such connection to other subject areas were accurately done. Take note, under multi-year guidelines, makikita natin na this does not apply to elementary teachers. No, only for high school and for senior high. Target natin to, level 6. And then yung mga connections naman for level 6 is that the teacher makes meaningful connections across curriculum teaching areas if appropriate. So ano yung features of practice? Makikita natin na yung teacher nagdi-display ng extensive knowledge of content. No, it's non-negotiable. Dapat very extensive ang kanyang knowledge. Pinapakita ito ni teacher. Pangalawa, the teacher addresses content accurately and its focus is congruent with big ideas and or structure of the teaching area. So he should be able to connect it with the big ideas. That should be something that he can do. Okay, in number 2, the teacher here in lower, no, so the highest score is 5, but you will grade the teacher 4 if the teacher presents the conceptual knowledge of the subject and makes connection within the teaching area lamang, no. So if it's just within confined to one subject area and accurate naman, then meron siyang conceptual knowledge, because as we all know, knowledge is built inductively or deductively. Yung focus kasi natin when we are teaching our learners, usually our approach is always inductive. Now, we go from specific, so we let our learners try to make sense out from the experience. So that's why ang flow nga ng ating mga discussion is always, basically it follows the 4 A's. No? We start with an activity without presenting any concept at all. We present an activity, which is an involvement to our learners, and then we try to let them experience what are these concepts. And then out from that, we do an abstraction. We try to ask questions, and we try to help them create an abstraction out from these experiences, out from the activity. So basically, we are trying to teach them how to build knowledge. So in this case, we are talking about connection, no? Connecting it with another subject area. So when they create all these abstractions or generalizations, we call that generalizations, making sense of, for example, if you're a math teacher, instead of telling the rule, exactly the rule on the computation, how you're going to compute, for example, polynomials. Now, instead of allowing the learner or telling them directly the rule, then we allow them to create the rules themselves. So that's inductive in a sense. So after they create their generalization, we want the teacher to accurately connect this to other subject areas. Connect this with other subject areas. So as you can see, it's applying content knowledge within and across curriculum teaching areas. So that is what is expected for teacher 1 to 3. But if you are talking of highly proficient teachers, by the way, for teacher 4 and 6 naman, yung highest naman nila, if we are going to apply it, which are this one, no, which are considered proficient teachers, yung highest naman nila hindi na 6, but instead yung highest nila is nandito na sa 7. So nandito na sila sa 7, yung highest nila. But for master teacher 1 to 2, yung 8 naman yung highest nila, and then for master teacher 3 to 5, yung 9. So dapat mapakita nila to. So if we try to compare the rubrics and analyze it, teacher 1 to 3, we will give them the highest score kapag napakita ni teacher that he is able to connect, no? The teacher addresses content accurately and is focused in congruent with big ideas or structure of the teaching area, right? And then he is able to create meaningful connections across curriculum teaching areas if appropriate. Okay? But kung si teacher 4 and 5 yung ino-observe mo, yung highest na standard mo na, in order for you to give 5 is that they should be able, it says here, applies accurately in-depth, broad knowledge of content and pedagogy. that creates a conducive learning environment that enables an in-depth and sophisticated understanding of the teaching and learning process to meet the individual group learning needs within and across curriculum teaching areas. So as you can see here, there is already what you call understanding the needs, the individual needs within and across curriculum teaching area. So ito naman yung target ng mga teachers in Teacher 4 to 6. No? We should be able to create connections, but it is already looking at understanding the teaching learning process upang ma-meet natin yung individual or group learning needs. So anong ipapakita natin in order for us to reach for Teacher 4 to 6? Kailangan natin na ipakita sa observer natin that we are trying to understand the needs of the learners. So pwede gagawa tayo ng pre-survey or ipapakita natin meron tayong formative assessment, in a sense that we are really understanding the situation and we are trying to be responsive to the needs within and across curriculum teaching areas. Parang related pa rin to, no, looking at the different needs or group needs. So, makikita natin mas marami na siyang features of practice. Like for example, the teacher applies extensive knowledge. So, pakita niya yung knowledge niya, the in-depth. Pangalawa, the teacher motivates learners upang mag-investigate the teaching area and expand their knowledge to satisfy their curiosity. So, di ba, inductive yung approach natin. So, we'll try to ensure that the learners are interested, no? So enhance their curiosity para naman they will investigate on their own. If they are not curious, hindi sila mag-investigate. So next is that the teacher cites intra and interdisciplinary content relationships. So he is now connecting it with other areas. Dito wala pa yan, di ba? Accurate lang. No? And then, kaya niya mag-create ng meaningful connections when appropriate. And number 4, the teacher shows expertise in the content and uses appropriate pedagogy in delivering the lesson. So, meron ng accurate pedagogy. So, yung 8 naman, this is already for master teacher. This is now your standard. Pag si master teacher 1 and 2 na yung nagde-demonstrate. So, the teacher applies high-level knowledge of content and pedagogy within and across curriculum teaching areas to empower learners to acquire and apply. So makikita natin still high level knowledge, pero high level na siya. So hindi lang siya accurate, hindi lang siya in-depth, but high level na talaga. To empower learners to acquire and apply successful learning strategies to assist in their development as independent learners. As you can see, the independence is already there. So for master teacher 1 and 2, yung target mo is para na talagang inductive, no? Inductive in a sense na inquiry based na siya. So the learners are acting like independent learners. Sa features of practice natin, the teacher applies extensive and complex content knowledge to support learners in acquiring successful learning strategies in other areas. Number 2, the teacher extends knowledge beyond the curriculum requirements. So, parang go beyond na sa requirements ng curriculum and stimulates learners' curiosity. As you can see, in 8, dito na nagsisimula yung independent learning, di ba? So, independent learners na talaga. So, less intervention from the teacher and then parang grabe yung arousal of curiosity in the part of the learners na they act and they search knowledge on their own. And then dito sa 9, the teacher applies exceptional knowledge of content and pedagogy within and across curriculum teaching areas to develop learners' lifelong learning skills. So, itong 9, highest na talaga to, and we are really showing that yung learners already develop lifelong learning skills. No? So, grabe na yung independence. And then there is already exceptional knowledge of content, no, on the part of the teacher. So anong ginagawa ng teacher at this level? The teacher affirms the role of lifelong learning skills such as critical thinking and informed feedback. Number 2, the teacher relates the lesson to real-life experiences, which results in learners' willingness to share their own experiences in class or in group work. So it's really not just across the subject areas, but already relating to their life. So you don't apply this standard, by the way, for teacher 1 to 3. This is for distinguished already. This is the highest, the 5 for distinguished. But for our teacher 1 to 3, ang standard na highest natin is only 6. So it's already enough na yung teacher displays extensive knowledge of content. Then hindi exceptional ha. Meron lang siyang accurate and in-depth knowledge and then makes meaningful connections across curriculum teaching areas. Okay na yan. Then the teacher displays extensive knowledge. So the point here is that as principal, if you're the principal, please you try to apply different standards when looking at the different set of teachers when they are demonstrating. For master teacher talaga, yung highest natin is already level 8. For distinguished, or by the way, yung 8, highly proficient. Yung 9 is distinguished na talaga. It's important for us to understand the definition of words here. So, accurate knowledge means walang error, di ba? In-depth knowledge, so as you can see, meron niyang mga definition. I have already compiled it for you. In-depth knowledge means foundational knowledge. So, meron lang siyang foundational knowledge. I think this is what is referred to in teacher 1 to 3. Broad knowledge, meaning knowledge across curriculum teaching areas. High-level knowledge, accurate, in-depth, and as you can see, broad knowledge within and across curriculum teaching areas. Exceptional knowledge, knowledge grounded in global best practices na talaga. Yung substantial content errors, gaano ba karami yan? Moderate, yung minor, yung key concept. This is very important part of your lesson plan. Yung key concepts. This is dito patungo yung lahat ng questions natin. When we ask questions, kasi whether we like it or not, yung indicator na to requires learners to actually generalize, create abstractions. And the abstractions that they will be creating should be the key concepts. This is the end point. This is the end point of your lesson. You want your learners to realize the key concept. Okay, so it's the central idea or topic of the lesson. And then coherence, logical, developmental sequence. So meron niyang mga definition. So as you can see here, meron ding definition for curriculum teaching areas, knowledge of content and pedagogy, then within curriculum teaching area and across curriculum teaching area. So anong ibig sabihin ng within? So within is inclusion of appropriately chosen intradisciplinary topics. So within lang po sa topic natin. If we're a math teacher, so within the curriculum teaching area lang, right? But when you say across curriculum teaching area, it's creating meaningful connections and including appropriate interdisciplinary topics. So kahit ibang discipline but the concept is the same, similar, we are able to relate that, learning competencies cited in the curriculum guide of other learning subject areas in any grade level. So it's basically relating a subject matter to another topic in another subject. So that's what you mean. That is what is meant by across curriculum teaching areas. So let's go to our tips. How are we going to demonstrate level 6 muna? Kasi if you look at here, level 6 muna tayo for our teacher 1 to 3 so that we can help them. Anyway, if you are capable of performing level 6, we will try to see how we're going to work it out for teacher 4 and 6 and teacher 8 to 9. So just to summarize, yung 6 talaga, ito yung foundation. We should be able to create meaningful connections. Yung 7, dito nagsisimula yung in a sense na meron ng mga meeting the needs of the learners, yung group and learning needs. Yung 8, if you notice, meron ng independent learning talaga. We want our learners to be highly curious to the point na sila na talaga yung nagsisearch ng knowledge. At saka yung 9 naman, grabe, lifelong learning na. So, how are you going to perform that in the classroom? Okay? Maraming factors yan kasi 1 hour lang to. You have to perform this. That's why I said, if you're going to perform all the indicators in one session and then your rater will insist that you should demonstrate the 9 indicators, that is very hard. In fact, in DepEd Order 89, it's really just 6 indicators. 6 indicators lang po, mahirap na yung isa. How much more? But they are very interrelated. Anyway, in our session, we will be presenting a sample lesson plan para matulungan po kayo sa demonstration nyo so that we can help you integrate all the 6 indicators all at one lesson plan. So here we see yun yung kaibahan from 6, 7, 8, 9. We need to give you tips as to how you're going to do about this. Like for science teacher, this is starting from teacher 1 to 3 lang ha. Students calculate their family's carbon ecological footprint using mathematical formulas and data. They then write an editorial in English Filipino arguing for sustainable practices. So anong nangyayari dito? We see na we are trying to integrate science with English and Filipino, arguing for sustainable practices. So as you can see, science, it's all about ecology, sustainability, and then we use math in order for them to create that particular analysis. And then we use English Filipino in order for them to do persuasive writing and argumentation. So if you're the science teacher, how are you going to apply it here in the rubrics? It's just that if you look at it, our approach is really learner-centered. We want our learners to actually do it on their own. So as you evolve from 6, 7, 8, 9, from being teacher 1 to 2, proficient, and then highly proficient, and then distinguished, as you can see, there is higher independence. So if you are the observer, you will notice na parang teacher-centered pa yung 6. But as you go to 7, parang yung responsibility of learning and curiosity and searching for knowledge is already bestowed upon the learners. Why? Because they are very motivated from the teacher. They are able to create that connection on their own. The work of the teacher is only to guide. Because as you remember, our role as a teacher is facilitator. You look at our mission vision. In our mission, teachers are facilitators of learning. So as you can see here, from 1 to 9, it's really evolving from being the major source of knowledge to being a facilitator. So at the same time, having exceptional knowledge, but guiding them in order for them to be independent learners. And, at the end of the day, lifelong learners, if possible. Okay? So that is what is happening here. So that is just an example, concrete action that you can do. Okay? Or you can have, uso ngayon yung mga disaster, no? So let's pray na wala na pong disaster na darating so that we will all be safe and hindi na di-disrupt yung klase natin. But as you can see here, merong concrete action, no? So students study the science and natural hazards, if that is your topic, and then prevalent to the Philippines, and then they can use math and EPP to design a small, cost-effective, and safe house model using a specific scale and budget. So meron ding math, meron ding TLE. So science from math, so that's an example of an activity, really integrating it across subject areas. And then we can see here for math teachers, you can have students learn about percentages, profit loss by analyzing the financial records of a mock or real local sari-sari store. They present their findings using visual graphs and oral report in Filipino paggawa ng ulat. So in your lesson plan, all you have to do is to annotate this. Makikita natin this is parang yung skills in Filipino is already integrated and there's math already. Right? So sa math subject natin, merong Filipino kasi gumagawa sila ng ulat. Meron ding araling panlipunan. So imagine 3 subjects na integrating it across different subjects. Meron ding students identify and measure and analyze geometric shapes and patterns found in local Philippine structure. So they write a descriptive essay detailing their findings. So from math, nagiging arts and araling panlipunan kasi merong cultural heritage. Tapos merong English and Filipino. So annotate lang tayo sa lesson plan natin. Yung DLP natin, we have to annotate na meron tayong ganito so that the observer will know na meron tayong integrating across different subject areas. For Filipino and English teachers naman, you can let them read a text, a short story about the environment, Filipino myth like Maria Makiling, and then the students research the underlying scientific or ecological concepts. They use these facts to argue how the text reflect real-world issues. So it's like literary work tayo kasi English naman yung subject natin or Filipino. Tapos we integrate science. It's like a legend and then parang how did they come up with such myth? We revisit science. So I think this fits. Kaya natin to for distinguished, diba? Gagawin natin is we will let them explore. And then, di ba, problem natin yung research. So, what I do when I was teaching talaga is, instead of letting the learners research, kasi I was assigned in a far-flung area, walang internet doon. So, what I do is mag-print ako ng mga concepts in a bond paper and I put it around the room, around the classroom. And it's like an amazing race wherein the learners will be able to check the walls for possible text na will explain. You try this one because it's very interesting for the learners kasi para rin silang nagre-research. Hindi lang nga, you can use this one if walang internet. If you have internet, then good for you. Pero kung wala kang internet, you can just post a print ahead of time, a lot of papers on the walls, and then can do the search among all these papers. What is important is they will be the ones searching the information. Okay? Yun lang yung important na part dun. Alright? So, another one is students design a simple statistical survey or yung math ICT on their peers' use of their mother tongue versus Filipino English in different settings. Then they present their analysis in persuasive speech on the importance of MT in or mother tongue in learning. Okay, so from English Filipino naging math siya. Okay, and you can, kasi merong statistical survey, and then gathering interpretation, and of course, you can use the ICT. So, this is another subject area, ICT, using the computer to present what they have gathered, and they can interpret. Okay, so for kindergarten teachers to grade 3 naman, you can do thematic play center, no, yung pineapple farm. Students use their Filipino vocabulary to name parts of the plant and farm tools, and they count the harvested piña. Math measures their size and write simple sentences about their experience. So from math, naging Filipino, tapos merong science. So you just have to point that out on your annotation para makita naman na you have really integrated this across subject areas. Another example is local community map project where students interview local barangay officials. Magtatanong sila about a map of their community, and they can use the scale drawings. So scale drawings na siya na gagamitan nila ng math, no, to create their own simplified map labeling key places like the school, the barangay hall. So from araling panlipunan nagiging math, tapos merong arts kasi merong drawing. Okay? So it's basically like that. You just think of subject areas wherein it can be integrated across all these subject areas and try to increase the ability of the learners to really associate from one subject area to another. Because in reality, wala naman talagang subject areas, di ba? There are only illusions, but as we can see here, we are already trying to teach the learners how to integrate this across all these different subject areas. And then, rhythm and pattern study. So tinikling students learn the mathematical pattern and rhythm required by the tinikling dance. So that's math or music, diba? There's a particular beat, and then they study the history and the cultural significance of the dance and draw and paint a costume. So nagiging arts na siya. So as you can see, from music, naging math, at saka naging araling panlipunan. So reminders, no, in order for us to solidify a level 6 rating, we need to focus on evidence and documentation. So our documentation here is really our math, our lesson plan annotation, no, that showcase the impact of your integrated approach. So you try to attend LAC sessions where you present your integrated unit plans, share sample lesson plans, and mentor colleagues on how to achieve content integration. So I'm also challenging our master teachers and our principals. We need to be a master of this. If you're listening now, master the rubrics, because sometimes we notice na yung ibang principal hindi sila marunong mag-rate talaga. Hindi nila tinitingnan yung rubrics, no. Instead, they use heuristic style, no? They just estimate what is the level of performance. Hindi po ganun. We need to help our teachers really achieve the standards. They are very considerate, bibigyan nila ng malaking grade, but your teacher will find it difficult when they apply for the ECP kapag hindi nyo sila na mentor, kasi they will have to demonstrate. Dapat nila ipakita na they exhibit all these concepts, no, in their demonstrations. Tulungan natin para hindi sila mahirapan during ranking at magiging proud sila when they attend the ranking process, and it's not frustrating for them. Kasi if we will just give them a high grade tapos hindi natin tuturuan, hindi natin bibigyan ng full support natin, mahihirapan sila during the ranking process. So yung annotated MOVs, kung meron, walang portfolio for this year, but every MOV that you have accomplished, of course, no, yung lesson plan, yung performance tasks, yung student outputs, do not throw it away. So ensure that they are available. Although there's no requirement for portfolio, but we analyze each of the NCOYs, the COYs, at least they should be in a safe place, no? So that we can use them whenever necessary. So just a reminder that you have to ensure that they are there. Do not lose them. Please put them inside anything that will preserve it, no, during the time that it will be needed. Okay, portfolio means yung compilation talaga with all the design, etc. Just having the MOVs is different from the portfolio. Although a portfolio is composed of a lot of MOVs presented in such a way na naka-compiled na. So there's a difference when you say portfolio and MOVs. Now, we do reflective practice. Always reflect on which connections were most effective to learners. So the idea of connecting it across subject areas is really to increase the level of association among our learners. We want them to think in terms of connecting it to other subject areas, ganito, and trying to integrate all their skills across the subject areas. In reality, as I've said, there are no subject areas if you go to real life situations. When you go to the market, math, English, Filipino, lahat yan, nandun na lahat. Walang subject areas. So we are teaching them the real life situation. So connecting all this across subject areas is a very important skill that a learner should learn. And we should, since we are learner-centered, we should be the one teaching them how to make these connections. As a teacher, you try to look which among them really make sense, which among these connections really increase their curiosity, and do reflective practice. Okay. I think that ends our session for today, and I hope you have learned something. No, so for our subscribers, we will be sharing this PowerPoint presentation for free. Tomorrow, we will discuss another indicator so that we will be able to cover all the indicators for the next few days. Thank you, everyone, and God bless.